Damn, that was tough. Damn, that was a tough game to watch. It was an exciting game to watch. It was an entertaining game to watch. It was frustrating to watch. You felt all the levels of an Angels baseball season to this point tonight. And you know what you came away with? You're 42-42. You're exactly what you are. You are exactly what you are as a baseball team to this point. 42-42. This was the epitome of a 42-42 baseball team. Without Mike Trout, with some mediocre pitching, with some guys that just didn't come through in the clutch, with a few errors on the outfield, with a few base running things, with just simply just not getting the job done, being very average, playing a very good baseball team, being the Red Sox. This is a team that in 2019 mirrored you to the freaking T, being bad as you were. And there should have been some change in this organization to get them to get the Angels to where they are now. Boston pulled all the right strings, crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's, and now look where they're at. And a lot of players have had comeback years, like Nathan Eovaldi, who we'll see tomorrow, and other players like that for the Red Sox who have come through, and this team is really clutch. Now, given that being said, I said a couple days ago when they first announced that Suarez was in the rotation, I said that I hope that they give Suarez a start versus Boston or versus Baltimore. Not particularly against Boston. Some people disagreed and said, he pitches against New York. He pitched good against Houston. He's done this. He's done that. I would have thought, though, that the Angels would have decided to give him a less, stronger opponent, to get his feet wet. Now, you can see he was a little bit off his game today for whatever reason. That's not the Suarez we've seen in the last month and a half. He came out there, threw too many damn pitches. He had over 50 pitches in 2 innings. So you knew he wasn't going to reach the 5th inning. He only got to the 3rd. He surrendered just 2 runs and left the Angels, for the most part, in the ballgame. Dylan Bundy gave up a couple runs, or 3 runs actually, in an inning and a third. And those proved to be the ones that were daggers. You couldn't come up with enough runs to make up for what Dylan Bundy put on us, and they give up it's a 5-2 game, or at one point 5-1 game at one point, and you just felt like the Angels were going to be kind of in it, if they kind of just held up. And the bullpen, for the most part, after Bundy, inning and a third of Watson, only surrendered the 1 hit. Guerra, an inning and 2/3. Claudio, a third of an inning, and then Cishek for an inning. So basically, your bullpen came through other than Bundy. And so those were in the first 4 innings. So you had almost 5 innings of shutdown baseball. But you had some runs that were left out there. And once again, a guy like Lagares, who was yesterday's hero, couldn't come through today in some clutch situations. Iglesias had a clutch situation where they couldn't drive home a run at third. He just popped out. You had Gosselin go 1 for 4 tonight. Walsh go 0 for 4. That really hurt. Ohtani up there, you were just praying and hoping that dude would just rip one down the line, but he hit into the shift. If at all, times you don't want the guy to hit in the shift, and he's played almost perfect baseball, and you wanted him to go to left field, he just tried it too hard and pulled it to right field and pulled it right at the goddamn second baseman. And you were kind of hoping he'd go the other way, because then the runner could have just had a shot at home. You had also tonight, some terrible base running by Rojas getting thrown out at home. He should have scored. I don't know why he was running so damn slow. You had a couple other guys that were just, base running errors, blunders, things of that nature that all hurt the Angels. You had guys getting struck out on pitches that they weren't calling against Boston. You saw those pitches that were right borderline strike zone all the time, maybe a couple inches lower on the lower part of the plate, and the umpire had no problem ringing up Renifo and a few other hitters. But when it came to Boston, he's like, nah, take first base. And that was the key to the game tonight, because not only are you fighting the 9 guys against you on the other side, you're also fighting the umpires. And the Angels did not get the benefit of most of the calls tonight, whether it was New York calling Rojas out after he was already called safe. It wasn't really irrefutable evidence. So, again, it should have been not overturned, but they overturned it. And then the same thing with the strike zone. Strike zone was all over the place. And then guess what, too? I didn't even get to Renifo swinging at that pitch. Should have been a 2-run homer. He hits that one out. It's a different ball game. We're talking about an Angels comeback victory. So there was a lot of runs taken away tonight. Just 3 alone by the Rojas being thrown at home. And then also the 2-run shot that should have been gone, but that was just a nice play by Kiki Hernandez in center field. And then you had just other opportunities that were just wasted. Guys left on base, and they just did not get them in. Walsh was another one of these guys that left guys on base. So as much as, it's funny how baseball is. We're celebrating this guy getting into the All-Star game the other night, and then tonight he's like the GOAT because he didn't come through. That's just how baseball is. It can change from one day to another. I'm not saying this team is eliminated with this loss. Obviously, it's not. I mean, they stood toe-to-toe with a team that's in first place. So I'm going to give them the golf clap, but I'm also going to say, hey, you're 42-42. If you wanted to take that next step, if you wanted to get to the team that, okay, Boston's got to kind of get scared of, or other teams are like, hey, the Angels are on the freaking upswing, you got to win tonight. You got to win tonight in front of that big crowd, and you got to make a statement doing it at the same time. And the Angels failed on those categories all night. This game was a game that Boston just kept wanting to give you, and you did not take it. And it's a game that you're going to shoot yourself in the foot later on or in the back and be like, fuck, we had this playoff. This is a game that we could have used to get into the postseason. So unfortunately, we can't see it. Names beating terrible teams, but when we're in the playoff teams, these Athletics and Red Sox, we get fucked. And unfortunately, that's been the case. These teams, we go toe to toe with first place teams, and look what happens. Like I'm absolutely agreeing with you right there. Nick says should be at least 5-5 right now. Actually, we should have won the game 7-5. We had 3 runs taken off the base. Chase also says Rojas is slow as fuck. Can we beat the damn shift? Mateo says this is a thing that I've been telling you guys. Since day one of the season, is this would make a huge difference if the Angels would go the other way, if other teams would go the other way, teach their guys to bunt. I'm not saying bunt in that situation. Left there, the left side of the outfield is wide open. The left side of the infield wide open. You got to take advantage of that at some point. Swing for the other way. And unfortunately, if you look at his swing, that pitch dipped at the last second, and he got the bottom half of the bat on it, so it was a line drive. If I swear to God, baseball is a game of inches. If that's an inch higher, we're talking about a walk-off right now. It would have been 7-5. Randy says this team almost came back. You got to tip your hat to them for hanging in there. Let's see how the series plays out. That is true. The good thing is that we didn't get blown out, Mateo says. Chase also comes in there. I still think we held our way, though, through the game. Jack says a 500 team at best right now. Absolutely terrible how stupid Rojas and Stassi got thrown out. Slow as shit. Unacceptable, Don Hammer says. That is true. The team needs to stay afloat until the GOAT comes back. Get Iglesias out off the team. Do it now. Halo Reports checks in with that. Christian Arroyo celebrated like he won the World Series after the game. Do it or work and walk. So I see your point there. Nick also talking about Christian Arroyo's celebration. I thought it was a little disrespectful. It's not like Ohtani was chirping back at him or something, but he did look over to Ohtani. At least that's what I don't know if you guys or girls think the same thing, but it was like he was taunting Ohtani over to first, and it's like Ohtani didn't do or say shit to him, and he's not that type of player. So the fact that they're all celebrating like that, or Arroyo was, that kind of got me the wrong way right there, and I hope there's some revenge we can get on him tomorrow. Also, Renifo slander is on the menu for tonight. Chase says, yeah, he kind of earned it tonight. Halo Reports says, somewhat encouraging loss, though, but all things considered. And Halo Reports, check this out. Like, this is what I think about a loss like this. Like, we've seen a few of these this year, and it kind of sucks because it's been kind of the norm. We don't want that to be an encouraging loss all the time. We've had a lot of encouraging losses this year. We want to have more encouraging wins. I see where you're coming from. It's just, man, a shiny turd on the other. He can be really good, but then he could be really bad. So we don't know what kind of freaking Andrew Heaney we're going to see in the finale. That's why tonight's game I thought was going to be one that they should have had and should have won off the, from start to finish. I had an inter-squad game today, Big Hammer says. Let's see what you did. Give us your stats, brother. Chase says, how many lefty pitchers does Boston? Seems like they were all facing lefties tonight. Yeah, they're left-handed heavy, bro. 6 games out now or 6. I don't know if we dropped a game tonight in the wild card, but just like I said, moral victories are nice, But as we go deeper into the season, these moral victories aren't going to matter, because then we're going to be sitting there like, damn, dude, like we really needed those games. We really needed you to get. We really need you to get to into. Really need to get these W's, man, and we need to really pile them up and get going. It's a little late in the season to be getting moral victories and trying to stay in this race. Grillmaster says, I feel bad for believing in Rally Chris. Oh, jeez, don't do that. Mateo says, why didn't Madden argue and get tossed? Because he's not that type of dude. He's a type of guy that will rather, just wear tie-dye shirts, and he's more like a Bill Walton guy, and he's not really into, into messing around like that. He's not that type of dude that's going to be a Sparky Anderson, I got to get thrown out just to get thrown out type of dude, or argue a call and make a big deal about it. I mean, he could have got thrown out 6 different times tonight. Let's see. Big Hammer says, I went 1 for 3 today with 2 ground outs and a single. I played first today. Good on you. That's good. Grillmaster says, Alfonso Marquez deliberately effed us. What was the call? The worst hitter on the team, Renifo. Also, the replay system is terrible. That is true. He says, toasters are back, baby. Plug those babies in. Nick says, Otani comes up to the plate, puts in a lefty. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Fast Times, Randy says, kind of felt like the game was against the Giants. Team is shitting themselves, Mateo says. And then let's see, Rally Chris going back and forth here. My connection sucks as badly as the Halos. God damn it. Halo Report says, so you blame the umpire, but somehow the team sucks. Which one is it, LMAO? It's not that I'm blaming the umpires. That I'm saying that they played their part tonight. You know as well as I know, Halo Reports, that the umpires can be good some nights and they can be bad some nights. They basically took a couple runs off the board tonight. They had too many strikeouts given towards the Angels, not the same calls to the Red Sox. I mean, where am I wrong there? Where am I wrong there? I mean, the umpires sometimes rear their ugly heads. That's why we know some of their names. And as far as the hitting's concerned, though, I mean, they screwed themselves over too. I mean, look, I'm just being constructive. I'm just giving constructive criticism here. I'm not saying this team, I'm not doing a grill master and saying we all suck. Let's DFA everybody. Let's DFA the fans. Everybody go to hell. No, what I'm saying is that, on nights like this, it's okay to say, yeah, like I said, a moral victory and whatnot, but we're 42-42. That's 84 games into the season. It's getting a little late in the season. I'm tired of hearing, hey, it's a moral victory, it's a good victory, or a moral victory in a sense that, but we didn't get a W. That's the big thing to come out of this. If this is May and April, okay, I can probably swallow it a little bit better. That's what she said. But the fact that we're in June and July and we're moving forward and other teams aren't getting moral victories, they're actually getting victories. That's where I'm like, hey, man, you got to step it up. And yes, I know Trout's out. Yes, I know Rendon's out. Yes, I know all this other stuff that's going on with the team. That's still no excuse, man. That's still no excuse. These are Major League ball players that I feel are better than most other teams, that they have better players than most other teams that can rise to the occasion. And you got a guy, Otani, that's tearing it up. There's no reason why I'm telling you the Angels would have 6 or 7 more wins. We would not be a 500 team. It says we will never be 2 games above 500. We're going 42 and 140. There we go. Dog, the Rendon slander is unbelievable. Jaime says, why does it keep saying video pauses? Because the video keeps pausing. That stupid thing keeps freaking pausing, and I apologize. It's the internet, and they're coming on the 7th. I have 500 downloads and 500 uploads, and it is acting like shit right now. The modem has to go. Don Hammond says, we can't beat good teams. There's no point in making the playoffs. We wouldn't stand a fucking chance, even if we got some small ball miracle. I really think that there is an opportunity to do that too. If you make the playoffs, anything can happen. Obviously, you just look what happened to the World Series champion Washington Nationals. They are the current champions, by the way. They made it through the wild card all the way to the World Series and won it. And all they did was get into the freaking dance. They had no chance. No one picked them to go to the World Series, and they did. The Angels got to do. Just getting to the postseason would be a minor miracle in itself. I don't care if they get swept. I just want to see them get in there. Halo Report says, dude was an MVP candidate last year, top 5 player coming into the season, and 200 WRC in his last 10 games, but people are convinced he's Pujols. It's just so illogical. Well, yeah, you know what? The thing is, though, we're not. I mean, some people are saying he's Pujols. I don't think he's Pujols at all, but I do think that he's underperforming. I mean, look, you could take Alex Rodriguez's numbers from back in the day when he was an MVP on Texas, when he had like 48 homers, 150 RBIs, just incredible, ungodly numbers. And then if he were to come back with Rendon numbers the next year, people will be like, well, what the hell happened? You know what I mean? Like, why is he hitting so bad? So there's criticism to be thrown around. I mean, like, if he's not performing, it's just like any other player, dude. I mean, you can have a pitcher pitch like as good as Bundy did last year. Look at Bundy. Bundy was touted as, hey man, he's made it. He's going to be the ace of the squad. We all had faith in him from last season, and he comes back this year and he's 1-7. You know what I mean, or 1-8 or whatever his record is, and he can't get out of his own way. It just happens in baseball, man. I mean, guys are going to be hot. You ride them. If they're cold, whatever. But what stands out with Rendon is that contract. And people will always throw shade. If it's Iglesias on a 1-year deal, they're going to be like, well, you got what you paid for. Or if it's a guy, it's like a 2-year, $50 million guy, you're like, oh, okay, you got what you paid for. At least you don't have him long-term. I think people are thinking because of what Pujols did to this organization, jaded them as fans, and kind of tore the fan base in two, because you got one half of the fan base that says, no, don't you ever talk about Pujols. He's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, with the Cardinals. And then you have the other fan base that's like, oh my God, dude, he sucks. I'm tired of him. I'm glad he's gone. And there's just like, the reason why is because it's another long contract. And I think Angel fans are scared he may turn into a Pujols. I don't think they're calling him Pujols now. They're just scared that he's going to turn into a contract where the last 4 years, every time he comes up to bat, or you're like, why did we sign him again? And then we go through this whole thing again. So that's why about guessing right. I mean, it's a lot harder than what it looks like on TV, but sometimes, yeah. I mean, some of these guys can't be doing what they're doing. Grillmaster says, I want that ump. Oh, no, you don't. Come on now. No dead slander here. He said to Ohtani. Oh, yeah, Nick said, yeah, I said to Ohtani. I didn't like that either. Frontier is bad tonight. Yes, it is. Jaime says, when should we expect Papa Fox? I think I'm going to probably bring him in here pretty soon. Like maybe if we do a retro episode, or if we talk a former Angel, like I think we're going to start talking about some former Angels on off days or when the season ends. I think I'll bring him in there, and then we could pick his brain a little bit there. Mateo says, is anyone seeing Todd freeze? Yeah, I'm freezing a lot on here. The internet sucks tonight. Violated tops chill. Yes, that internet's pissing me off. Like you won't even believe. I'm pretty pissed tonight. Don Hammond says, ain't no such thing as an encouraging loss. We fucking lost. It's still an L in the loss column. Sure is. Let's see. Matt Bedingo says, yeah, he's freezing up on my phone as well. I'm sorry. He wanted to end it with that dinger Ohtani did tonight. Ohtani just barely missed that pitch. The performance makes me want to puke like Bundy in the Bronx, Grillmaster says. Grillmaster says, I don't know what the F is going on about the batting average, 910. It was phenomenal swing. Yeah, it was a phenomenal swing, Halo reports, and I think that just he's a little hard on him because he really wants him to be perfect, and I don't think he can be perfect, so we have to understand that at some point. Chase says, wasn't even Bundy's fault. Strike three, the pitch before the home run. Yeah, I know it wasn't his fault, but still, I mean, he's going to get the yell or the blame by a lot of people, I think, in the long run. Let's see, Grillmaster, why are you talking bad about our ace? Yeah, he's our only good player right now. It's like phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like we have another phenomenal one on the team, but he's not back there right now. The Angels can't make outs and can't put hitters away when there's 2 strikes and 2 outs. Let's see. Moving on here. No moral victories. Grillmaster says. Matt Bedingo says, did anyone else see the Angels are one of 4 teams to have interest in trading for Trevor Story today? And that on Twitter. And that is the thing. I mean, who would you have to give up to get him? And that's the problem. I mean, he's going to be a good player, but he's a rental. You know, he's a free agent in the offseason. Do you wait to the offseason because there's going to be 5 or 6 shortstops available? My thing is this. You might lose out on a shortstop. You might lose out on Iglesias, the closer, because you're going to be too worried about signing pitchers, starting pitching in the offseason, at least if the Angels go that route. You're going to need 1 or 2 high-priced starting pitchers. Those guys don't really sign right away unless they get a sweet-ass deal. So if you're taking too long to negotiate with one of those guys, you might lose Iglesias if you want him back, which I kind of do, and then as the closer. And then as far as shortstops, you got Marcus Semien, you got Story, you got Iglesias, you got plenty of players that are out there, Correa, that could be available, and you might lose out because they might go fast because shortstop is a prime position. I didn't like how Madden put 2 lefties back-to-back, Ohtani and Walsh against a lefty. Yeah, that kind of had me scratching my head too. I would have liked the right-hander in there as well. Ohtani didn't fuck up once, and he hit a homer. My prediction score would have been the same as correct. Rally Chris says, here we go again, Grill Master. There we go. Rally Chris, just ignore the man. Just positive vibes tonight, Jaime says. Mateo says, I feel like the umpires have been against us all season, and playoff race starts this month, Mateo says. And it's true because you got to win these games to stay in the race. You got to stay within shouting distance, and they have been for the most part. Let's see. James Gonzalez checks in with that damn shift did us in tonight. I thought after a while it was going to be a blowout, but they stayed involved. Team stayed. The team speed is no part of the Angels, unfortunately, tonight. Let's see. Also, let's see. Rally Chris says, no, I'm not going to go over that one. Nick says, that 2-3 spot when Trout comes back. Love it. Yeah, it's going to be great, dude. I really think this lineup's going to take off, especially if Trout can hit anywhere close to what he's normally hitting. Grillmaster says, damn. And then, let's see, I promised I would believe in the series at Rally Chris. I'm not breaking it for this series, but he's losing his faith right away. Randy says, I said it was a mistake to sign Rendon when it happened. That money should have went to pitching or Josh Donaldson. The problem with Josh Donaldson is he, too, has the I can't stay healthy bug at times. And, I like him, too, man, but power hitting third baseman wasn't at the top of our list back then, and it still isn't right now. Play some small ball will help, Grillmaster says. Big 20 Hammer says, everyone in our division had an off day today except the Rangers, but they lost. True. Jaime says, if we're still 500 on July 29, are we buyers or sellers? Jaime, we are sellers with a capital S. You have to make up some ground. You have to stay within 4.5, 5.5 games. 5.5 being the farthest out you can go. I think if they're not at 5.5, dude, you pull the plug on the season and you say, let's ride it out with these youngsters. Let's get rid of those 4 pitchers on 1-year deals if we can and see what we can get back. I mean, we're not expected to get back prize prospects for those 4 pitchers. I mean, the best you're going to get back is someone for Cobb, and that's if year. And Perry can restock everything, and I have faith in that dude will go through the free agency and do a good job. Nationals of 2019 in the month of May were combined bullpen ERA of 7.3. Damn. James says sellers. Grillmaster says sellers. Amasa says, hi, I'm Japanese. What do you do now? As far as a game right now, Masa, we're just talking about the final and what happened in the game. And your boy Ohtani coming through in the clutch for us over and over this season. If it wasn't for Ohtani, the Angels would be about 10 to 15 games out right now. So he's carrying the team. We're hoping that Trout comes back and Ohtani and him can just start crushing home runs back to back. And hopefully you're hanging in there with my internet. So I apologize for that because the numbers keep going up and then down, up and then down. Let's see. James says not Albert just yet. Time is wasting though on Rendon. He says patience is wearing thin. So he has many ways to say that. Rendon probably says I don't like baseball. Mateo says, but Pujols was playing way better. And then how Rendon is playing. Rendon not doing shit now, and the hell. Let's see, shit, and 5 home runs in 58 games. That is true. Love the realist thinking fans out there, James says. Rendon should Rendon should retire. Rendon doesn't care, Trout here says. This will be his last contract and will ride off into the sunset. Mateo says, Todd, I'm being funny with this. Your internet is shitting itself. It is, and see, look, it's funny to you, but it's pissing me off because you know how I like to have things run smoothly, and this isn't running smoothly at all. It's pissing me off. We're not getting Trevor's story. If we did, it would be a great story to tell. Oh, my God. There you go again. Mateo says, don't hate me, guys. I'm watching the NBA Finals tomorrow instead of the game. Okay. Trouta here says, it's the Halos in the infield with Todd Freeze. Kidding. Yeah, oh, my God. Grillmaster says, if he hits a home run, my prediction score will be correct. Would have been correct. Can we please have robot umps? Ump zone was shit tonight, James says. I agree. Jack Sports says, doesn't Ohtani the first 6-foot player? We need a fucking legit setup man. Yes, the setup man is also in the works because Myers is not dependable at home. On the road, he's really good. Watson's pretty decent, but he's not a full-on setup guy. And we do need a setup guy out there. Getting Story now would be a dumb move, in my opinion. Randy says, the Grillmaster says, weird lineup tonight. Can we please mix up the spots sometime? We need guys back first to do that. Rob says, feel like we ran ourselves out of innings, too aggressive instead of putting pressure on their pitchers. Also, Randy says, but at least Donaldson shows he cares. That is true. Today's 80s music or 60s music group of the Byrds announced the three-city reunion tour. The newest band member is George W. Bush. According to a spokesman, Bush will play both guitar and drums, and Bush in the band is worth two. Okay. Let's see. Donaldson shows fight. Always like that. Yeah, he does. Fast Time says Rendon has to be blessed to be stressed, written all over his face, and that Jerry curl stuff. Todd, if we are out of contention by August, will Trout and Ohtani rest? They're going to rest in September. I guarantee you that the final 2 weeks of the season, you're going to see hit and miss Trout and Ohtani. That's for damn sure. Why are you guys talking bad about my boy Rendon? Time is ticking on a Trout era in Anaheim, Mateo says. James says, Todd, can you do your Rendon impression when he pops up? Oh, yeah, he just stares and holds his bat up in the air like, and doesn't move. The outfielder could literally lose the ball in the sun, and Rendon will be jogging his ass to first base, just not giving a shit. Yeah, he's that's a bad look. I mean, you can make up for. I mean, I've seen guys in the past that do a really good job of, if they hit a pop-up to the infield, they're at second base before the second baseman catches the ball because they're running their ass off, because just that 1% of 1% where the guy would just drop the ball or commit an error, lose it in the sun, you're at second with an infield double because you're hustling, because you give a shit. Or a fly ball to the outfield and the outfielder misreads it. You could be on your way to third. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can happen good if you show hustle. And plus, it shows the fans that you care. So, I mean, when stuff like that happens, yeah, it's a shame to see players getting paid that much, literally showing you that they don't really care. I don't want Story because it would be the Wong move. I want Marquez instead. That's the white move, Grillmaster says. Mateo says Ohtani is only 27 and he still has baby face. Yeah, he does. He looks 24. To every turn. Masa says Japanese pitcher names Yoshimoto. He is very good pitcher. You know what? Send him over here, Masa, because if you got connections, the Angels will take him. Those, any of those pitchers we would take on this team. As you can see, we took Ohtani, and he's been a blessing in disguise. I mean, better player that none of us thought would be this good. I mean, if you ask any Angel fan, Masa, that if they would get Ohtani and Ohtani would be this good, nobody thought he would be this good. And he's got 31 home runs with an opportunity to maybe hit 60 or get close to 60 by the end of the season. For American baseball, that's amazing. The thing is when you do his impressions. Angels Art says, is hope Angels retaliate tomorrow? I hope so too, Angel Art, because they need to get a fight. They literally need to get into a fight. They need to ignore the COVID rules and actually get into a fight to light a fire under this team. At Masa says, Yama, you send us some help from the Halos? There you go. Should get him Yoshinobu. I'm gonna look into him, by the way, Masa. Just put him on the pen. Also, never listen to Trent Rush or Roger Lodge. Wong man. I like how Ohtani is getting MVP chance. That's awesome too. Let's see. Fast Times Randy says, I don't get how teams don't have things in the contract to protect themselves when players just completely fall the fuck off. Because if we get raises or promotions at our jobs and we weren't able to do what our job was supposed to be done, we would get fired or demoted immediately. And that's true. Please watch Yoshinobu on YouTube. I will after this feed goes, Masa, I promise. And be a part of the show more often. We like the Japanese feel. And if you got any kind of players you're looking at over there to send us or scout, by all means, we'd like to check that out. So thank you for tuning in, Masa. Mateo says, if we are in contention, will Trout or Ohtani rest? Yeah. Well, if we're in contention, they're going to play every day unless sore or hurt. Angels and their fans having PTSD with all these big money deals. That's the thing. You as an Angels fan, you're looking back and you're like, dude, 300 million, 200 million. And what did we get at the twilight of their career? Absolutely nothing. I mean, you got the CJ Wilson, you got the Gary Matthews Jr., you got Rendon now, you had Pujols then. There's a lot of players you can go through and say the Angels just threw too much money at certain players. Mo Vaughn. It's just a lot of things happen. I swear to God, Hunter Renfroe looks like Trout. He does. A fight is bad because players will get suspended, but it could bring players together, Mateo. I've been watching baseball a long time, and all it takes sometimes is someone getting thrown at it stupidly. And if it's unjust and the players rally around each other, it could change things. It could send teams on big winning streaks because all of a sudden it's like, bro, you got my back on the field and you got my back in a fight. And you don't know how much that means to a player if you actually do it. And again, I was in high school baseball. It's not the same thing, but we got into a fight one time, and a guy that I thought would never throw a punch threw a punch, and he actually hit a dude that was going to hit me. So he got him before he got me, and I never thought he was like the nerdiest dude on the team. And the fact that he stood up for me, it meant the world to me. And he got like, I had his back no matter what. You know what I mean? Even after baseball in high school, you know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing that does. So James says, come on, baby, light my fire. Let's see. Fast Times, Randy says, is it not the money we throw? It's that we throw it to the guys who are in the wrong side of 30. I don't fucking get it. And I get it right there, too. Breaking news, ToddFox, 10-year, $150 million. No, you know what? It's breaking news. It's 10-year, $4.50 a show. That's what that is. 400 without the million. I think that's what it is. But tonight of all nights was a very frustrating night baseball-wise and for my internet. This was a game, again, that was served up on a silver platter for the Angels to take. It was ripe for the picking. This is a good Game 1 victory. We would have been sitting there at 43-41, 2 games over, and with an opportunity to move up in the standings in the wild card while teams were off, pick up a half game, and be a solid 5 games out. Now we're 6 games out, and it's just an opportunity to prove to a team like Boston that you can't take us lightly, that we're going to be in the game and we're going to play you hard. And we played them fairly hard in Boston, but I felt like with a win tonight and you can go for the series jugular tomorrow, would have been nice. Now you got to fight back and you got to win tomorrow in a game where you don't know what Ohtani's going to give you. And against a very tough Nathan Eovaldi. We're seeing the Nathan Eovaldi from 2018, not 2019, not 2020. We're seeing the 2018 version of him this year. That's kind of scary. He is turned back into their ace. So we have ace versus ace tomorrow. And then we throw some guy named Heaney against whoever Boston throws out there because they're not worth mentioning because obviously we're already hamstrung because it's Heaney. Now Heaney could surprise me and come out there and give us 6. And I'm like, holy shit, 9 strikeouts, six innings pitched, and hey, you know what? He did a great job, blah, 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 blah. But then he could also go out there and give you what Suarez did tonight, which surprised us because Suarez was pitching so good. But Heaney could come out there and give us 3 innings, and then it's a bullpen game. We're effed again on a getaway day. So we'll have to just see what happens right there. Let's see, get a couple more of these comments in here before I take off. Let's see. Mateo says, is anyone convinced that the Renfroe and Trout are brothers? We went over this earlier. He looks just like him. Grillmaster says, breaking Grillmaster, no years and no, no because I'm a dick. Jeez. Fast Time says, and it's a Danny Glover meme kind of night. Yeah, it is. It is Angels from the Outfield movie, terrible movie by Disney back in the day. That is the type of movie this should be, where they go out there and flip tables and just make the dumb players. I mean, look, there's a few things to pull out of tonight. Rojas getting almost a cycle. He had a great night tonight hitting, but had the base running blunder. Fletcher extends the hitting streak, had 2 more hits tonight. But just come on. Damn dinner on Todd. James, yeah. Don Hammond says, until Rendon starts hitting 330 home runs, you're not going to convince me that he wasn't a waste of money, and I don't give a damn about his defense. So Don's on. See, this is what you're going to have, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like Halo Reports said earlier in the show, why the slander? Why this? Why that? And then you got Don Hammond saying, well, because this, and that. it's okay because that's part of being a fan. You know, we don't always have to agree, and this is a good thing about dialogue. He can present his side, he can present his side. They're not going to agree, but other people can judge for themselves. And the team and Father Time will judge for itself too. Because when we first started that Pujols 10-year deal, a lot of Angel fans, including myself, thought it was a good deal. I just didn't look into the numbers the last year or so in St. Louis. I didn't think he was going to hit a decline, but he did. And you know, it just progressively got worse. It never got better because Father Time's undefeated. And so if they're declining that early in the contract, it's only going to get worse as it goes along. And I think that's what tore fans apart, split them down the middle. And I think right now with Rendon, because of prior things, we're starting to look at Rendon the same way. Like, damn, dude, you better pull your head out of your ass fast because you're not worth the money. And I think that's the only thing, like Randy said, like if there should be a clause where you could take money off the contract, but baseball's guaranteed. It's not like pro football. Pro football is like, the moment you start hitting that curve, the downward side, they cut you. Unfortunately, baseball is like, well, you sign him till he's 45. That's on you. He signed that dotted line. It's ironclad. You cannot break that. And that's what happens with all these players. They sign those contracts. It's forever, dude. It's forever till a day. And if you decide to cut, like say, for instance, we cut Pujols last year in the exhibition season. We would have had to pay him out for that year. And we had to pay him out for this year. We would have paid him to sit. So a lot of people don't know that he's making the millions upon millions that the Angels owed him, and the Dodgers are still giving him $400,000. He was literally given $400,000 just to be a veteran minimum, very minimum, to be on the Dodgers for the rest of the season. He got $400,000 extra. So, I mean, it's not like he needed it, but that's just part of the game. Trotta here says, I miss the background memes. Oh yeah, I got to put some of those up. I've been slacking on it because we've been doing other stuff. Mateo says, tomorrow's matchup should be fun. Ace versus ace. Absolutely. Rendon's defense isn't helping us win games, but his offense is a contributing factor in us losing. That's true. But his defense does come around, but that offense, is killing us at times. James says, Heaney equals nightmares. Yeah. Dude, I would literally go to bed the night before Heaney start if I was Joe Madden with I would actually call Tums and say, hey, is there a way that I can be a spokesman for Tums Antacid? Because I know every flavor of your Tums at this point. He would give me Antacid and heartburn, thinking the fact that, damn, we really need a big win tomorrow. Shit, we have Heaney pitching tomorrow. You know what I mean? Heaney goes up 6-4 with a 5.4 ERA versus Eduardo Rodriguez. It could be anybody, bro. And I'm still thinking that we're on the downside of that matchup. At Fast Times, under the halo, I swear you never lied. Don Hammond says, Chris Swanky says, can't wait till another walk-off to see Iglesias pour water on himself and jump around. Yeah, that's the best. I mean, like, why do you pour water? I mean, look, James brought that out in our podcast today, if you guys heard it. That he prefers not. He runs up there with a Gatorade in the water. He's like, yeah, guys, but no, it's on me. He's like, no, bro, you gave up the home run. That dude saved our ass. And he's like, no, it was me. He's pouring it on himself and excited. There's something wrong with that guy. Grillmaster says, I want to flip a table on how bad this team is. Rob says, coaching blunders, sending guys home, taking pitchers out, leaving Bundy in, shake my head. Mateo says, Madden needs to hire a new hitting coach. Do we have 3 of them? Ace brought up the other day, there's an assistant hitting coach. So not only do we have Jeremy Reed and Paul Sereno who suck, we have another guy in the weight that's on this team. So yes, we have 3. That's pathetic. Matt Bedingo says, I was really wanting to see Ohtani pitch on Wednesday when I'm there. Sadly, I have to see Heaney pitch on Wednesday. Oh, I'm so sorry, Matt. I'm so sorry. James says, about that Pujols deal, I didn't see the same, but I saw the sign and it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign. That is what is that crappy band from the 90s? I know who you're talking about. It's those chicks, though. Yeah, I saw what you saw. I saw the sign. I sent the pitching Instagram's chat. Oh, okay, thank you, Masa. I will check that out after the show, okay? The fastball velocity has to be up for Shohei. Use your splitter. Yeah, if he's hitting the zone and not walking guys. Obviously, that's what we want from him in tomorrow's game. If we want him to go as long as he possibly can, that's why you're going to probably see him lead off again. But dude has to not walk so many guys, especially early in the game, and stop falling into 3-2 counts. He's got to go after these hitters really good here. Can we put the shit over Heaney's name, the shit emoji? Well, we might be able to. James says, dude, I just ate a Tums. Get out of my head. Haha. We're on the same wavelength, dude. Randy says, I'm sending Todd my Rendon jersey back. We just put something over the name or something, whatever. Grillmaster says, what did one dinner plate say to the other? Dinner's on me. Jeez. Like Iglesias with, or Gatorade, Iglesias with self-love. 3 and none of them are good. Mateo says, maybe I should get season tickets because the wins when I'm there. You said that before, and you got to come through, Mateo. You have to come through, man, because if you got that kind of winning record, you got to come down here, and we got to actually save you a seat. Matt Bedingo says, I'm glad you got Rendon. Ohtani pitches tomorrow. We probably will see Ohtani pitch on the July 16th since it's a bobblehead night. Yeah, we're going to be there on the 16th, me and Rally Chris. Rob says, is it me or does anyone else wish that we stuck Pujols in AAA? Tired of hearing how great the Dodgers are with him. The problem is you just don't have no options on a dude that old. You can't send him there. It would have been nice if they could have made up something and had something embarrassing to where they could put him on administrative leave or something. Chase says, send me the video of that pitcher. I will. Use your splitter. It's your best pitch. That's over to Ohtani. And as the feed once again freezes up tonight, this is pissing me off. It looks like we're going to tailgate in late August, Mateo, and I'll have the date for you here in a week or two. I just have to confirm with somebody else because it's going to be a group thing. It's going to be what's it called? It's going to be another group hosting. Because obviously we weren't big enough after we left the other one. So we're going to have a bigger group here hosting, but we're going to be a part of it. So once I nail down that day, we should be good. So I'll let you know, Mateo. And then Grillmaster says, Walker Buehler lost today, so it's Buehler's day, Buehler's night off. So with that being said, and a few other jokes coming in, we are going to call it a night. And hopefully tomorrow night is much better. Hopefully tomorrow night we're in a better mood because the Angels get the job done. And don't leave so many guys in scoring position like they did tonight. They had plenty of opportunity to win this game. Thank you all for participating. I didn't even get into the Redbubble stuff. If you haven't seen the Redbubble stuff, go check out redbubble.com. Type in Halos in the Infield, and you will find some of our merchandise there. And if you're not interested in that, but I hope you are, there's a lot of good stuff over there to check it out. We have the the Trucker Hat Trivia is coming up here again on Wednesday. And then we also have jerseys to give away, which is going to be the Jersey Bingo starting Friday. So if you have not registered, you have till Friday. And then we're going to start dropping the balls. And then you're going to be able to see who gets what. And then we go from there. The more times you listen to the podcast, or at least if you listen to the podcast, you watch the shows either pre or post game, we're going to be giving numbers out with those bingo balls. And then that's the way I should say it instead of dropping balls. We're going to be giving out the numbers from the bingo balls, and that's just increases your chance to win. So just keep that in mind. And these are really nice jerseys. So with that being said, you guys all have a good rest of your night, and hopefully we have some W's coming up on the menu for tomorrow. Let's see, tough loss. Nancy checks in. Yes, it was single balls or bingo balls. Yes.